Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationship Advice and it's by user Throwaway and something. My 27 male girlfriend, 28 female, told me she would not cheat on me after coming home from a girls' night out. Hi everyone, last weekend I picked my girlfriend up from a bar after she had a girls' night. When we got back to the apartment, I carried her up the stairs as, in her words, a princess should not have to walk. As I carried her, she said, "I would never cheat on you, you are too good for that," and gave me a kiss. I didn't think much of it at the time because she definitely drank a lot that night, but I have been having trouble getting that out of my head. How do I decipher that statement? I mean, there are a few cases that I can think of. Someone pressured her to cheat. One of her friends cheated on their partners. This is complicated because I have become friends with her friends' partners. She was just being drunk and not thinking. I have been cheated on before and I have expressed to my girlfriend that cheating is the ultimate no-no for me and would cause an instant breakup. I just wanted some advice because I make a big deal of this because I tend to overthink things. Well, OP, with the information that you give us, I think you're right on the money. I think your girlfriend is being absolutely honest in that she would never cheat on you. She seems to really love you. I mean, she's really drunk. She's saying this, you're too good for that. She gives you a kiss. But I do think that something happened on the girls' night that has this topic on the forefront of her mind. And that is that maybe one of her friends did cheat on her partner, or maybe somebody tried to get her to cheat. But if you don't want this to bug you, then you need to ask her. Sit her down, tell her what happened, tell her what she said, and ask her, hey, what's up? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. US Mousy says, I'm imagining in her head, I'm coming home drunk and he has the past experience of being cheated on. He might have that worry in the back of his head. I'd hate that. I don't want him to worry. I'd never do it. And her drunk brain did not stop her, even though if she had been sober, she would have realized even saying it would cause you to feel bad. QWERTY says, some partners can feel jealous, insecure, anxious about their girlfriend going on a girls' night for fear of them being disloyal. I think it's her drunken and clumsy way to counter any concerns you may have about her enjoying nights out without you. That you treat her like a princess and she'll always be loyal. But definitely chat to her about it and how it's felt strange to you for her to say in that way. Try not to assume the worst, at least if there are no other indications of something amiss. Real Good Mind says, sounds like she was drunk and she said she would never cheat on you because you are too good for that at her drunkest moment. That is when the stuff comes out that they would not say otherwise. You carried her, she had probably been getting hit on at the bar and she came home and realized why she didn't and verbalize it not even thinking. Ask her if she remembers. If she doesn't remember, I would take it as a good sign but still tell her what she said and that it made me feel good and I hope she means it. And Birdie8588 says, personally, I'm inclined to think because you were treating her like a princess, she was trying to reassure you, but because she was completely smashed, it didn't go so well. I honestly wouldn't read very much into it, my lovely. I know you've been cheated on in the past, but don't ruin what sounds like a good thing on absolutely no evidence at all. Wishing you the best of luck. Heart. Well, the community seems to be somewhat in line with what OP's thinking, so let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. A few people asked for an update, so here it is. Also, thanks for all the advice. I talked to my girlfriend and there is good news and bad news. Good news is, my girlfriend didn't cheat. When I asked her about her comment, she absolutely had no memory of saying it. Lol. Bad news, when I asked why she would say something like that, she admitted that one of the girls she was out with, Jane, made out with a guy that was not her boyfriend, John. She said that the comment probably came from the fact that the guy Jane was smashing tongues with had a few friends that were hitting on her friend group, but lost interest after there were no takers. Needless to say, I voiced my concern with the fact that she had told me none of this and she agreed that it was crappy and even looked suspicious. She told me she was looking for a chance to tell me, but I broached the subject first and that she is going to take it easy when it comes to drinking when I'm not with her. For my reassurance and for her hangover, lol. Also, one of her friends got promoted, which is why they were going hard that night. This is not a common occurrence for them. Now, for Jane and John, my girlfriend said that Jane had been texting in a group chat saying that John was acting cold at the start of the week and went radio silence after that. I called up John to double check that he knew, as well as ask if he wanted to get a beer sometime. He agreed and told me that Jane and he had officially broken up and she was a mess, constantly texting and calling him. I also asked him for Jane's side of the story so I can match it with what my girlfriend told me. I'm a bit paranoid, I know. The stories matched up. She had been drinking, a guy came up to her, they flirted, she made a mistake. That's not a mistake. As far as Jane, my girlfriend and her friends, I am assuming that one of her friends told John. I forgot to ask John, but he is a good guy and has become good friends with my girlfriend's friend group. As of now, Jane hasn't reached out to my girlfriend or her friends. Definitely not the best ending, but it worked alright for me. Well, Obi, it's good for you. I mean, at least you know that your girlfriend's not lying to you and she wouldn't cheat on you, so that's good. As for Jane and John, well, I don't think it's a mistake what Jane did, but I don't know the story with them. It's a good thing they broke up though. Cheating is never a good thing. So here's wishing you and your girlfriend the best in the future. Take care, Obi, and thanks for sharing. Now, let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Bridezillas, and it's by user SuchElk4035. Bridemaid's burnout. Am I being taken for granted? I've been friend with this bride for over 15 years, so when she asked me and another bridesmaid to be in her wedding over a year ago, I was honored. But little did I know this would turn into one of the most frustrating experiences of my life. Right off the bat, the other bridesmaid announced she was pregnant, which upset the bride a little. While she eventually came around, she immediately told me I was now fully in charge of the bachelorette as the other bridesmaid would not be involved. Okay, fine. When it came to shop for her wedding dress, it took a whole day. No small feat as a working mom of two, and the bridesmaid and I treated her to lunch, drinks, and dinner. She didn't find the dress that day, so a few weeks later, we did it all over again. I suggested a fun bonding activity in the afternoon, but she declined, citing a birthday party. Then, surprise! When the boutique asked her to return later that same afternoon, suddenly the birthday party was in the evening. Annoying, but I let it slide. As the months passed, I barely saw the bride unless it was wedding related. One morning, my husband and kids stopped by her new house, and she suddenly invited me over because her fiancé and the other bridesmaid were there. I showed up only to feel completely unwelcome, and within 30 minutes, she basically kicked me out because they had other plans. I threw myself into planning the bachelorette, a full-on destination weekend that the bride demanded with 7 of her friends, most of whom I barely knew. I also started asking her about the bridal shower, trying to make it special. Instead of excitement, she snapped at me, saying she didn't even care about the shower because she already knew it would be terrible. Excuse me? I reminded her that she was asking us to spend over $1,000 on an event she apparently wasn't looking forward to. She half-heartedly apologized, but at that point, I was done. I passed the shower planning to the other bridesmaid, who happily took over. Then, after another dress shopping trip, the bride and the other bridesmaid got into a fight, and the other bridesmaid dropped out of the wedding entirely. I immediately stepped up to reassure the bride that we'd figure everything out. I even agreed to plan the bridal shower after all, but within limits. I offered to host 15 to 17 guests at my home, given that I was already planning the bachelorette and my family is having some financial difficulties. Instead of gratitude, she pushed back, suggesting I hosted outside to accommodate her full 30-person guest list, or even at her grandmother's retirement community an hour and a half away. I firmly held my ground. Later, the other bridesmaid asked to come back into the wedding and offered to plan and pay for the entire shower. Great news, I still was happily involved, helping with games, favors, and even attending multiple planning calls. As time went on, I noticed something. The bride only reached out when she needed something wedding related. Whenever I suggested hanging out for fun, she always had plans with other friends. Whenever I called or we talked, the conversation was only about her life. I realized she knew nothing about my life because she never asked nor gave me space in our chats to even speak up. It stung. Then came the accessory debacle. She invited me to attend her dress fitting, but since her dress didn't arrive, she would just be trying on accessories. She also vaguely invited me to grab a drink before the fitting, but said she couldn't commit to a time because of wedding hair trials. I spent the whole day waiting for a concrete plan, and by 2 p.m. I finally gave up and took my son roller skating. This caused a massive fight with her accusing me of ruining her special day. A week later, we had a long heart-to-heart, and I communicated that I feel very unappreciated and taken for granted in a one-sided relationship, and that her expectations of me are very high for her never having time for our friendship, unless wedding-related. I was hopeful the conversation would turn a new leaf. Most recently, she invited me to a St. Patrick's Day party, sort of. She texted me after she and her other friends had already gone to dinner and for drinks, expecting me to meet them at the event. This made me once again feel not included, since I thought we would all be going together. Although this was a small thing, I feel like it was my final straw. I texted her expressing how hurt I was that she keeps treating me like an afterthought. No response. There are a lot more tiny incidents and more demands from the bride, but for the sake of how long this post already is, I will save that for another time. Overall, this last year of wedding planning has left me feeling extremely stressed, financially drained, and taken for granted. My husband and children are also feeling frustrated with the drain this has taken on our family resources and my personal free time. Many years ago, the bride used to be a big part of our family, coming to events, supporting my kids, and offering to be a part of our lives, but that has changed drastically. So what now? I've poured so much time, energy, and money into this wedding, all while feeling like a second-class friend. I'm exhausted. At this point, I am not sure what to do, but I'm really hurt by this friend. Any and all advice would be greatly appreciated. Is my friend being a bridezilla, or are her expectations unreasonable? Am I being too sensitive? Am I somehow in the wrong? What should I do? Well, OP, to answer your questions one by one. Bridezilla? Yeah. Are your friend's expectations reasonable? No. Also, I don't think she's a friend. Are you being sensitive? No. You've just been slighted. Are you somehow in the wrong? No. Again, you've just been slighted. What should you do? Tell her you're done, you're dropping out of the wedding, and hopefully she has a nice marriage, and to contact you in the future when she stops being a... I almost said it, but I didn't. Ends with a T. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's check out the community comments. Quiet Lifter says, she's not your friend. You're sacrificing time with your family and your finances on someone who doesn't care about you except when she thinks you can do something for her. Drop out and let the remaining bridesmaids step up. Glass Translator 9 says, OMG, drop out immediately. You've spent enough on someone who doesn't even consider you a friend. She's using you like an actor in her unpaid production. The costs are all passed to you. Wedding or no wedding, she has treated you deplorably, and I would drop out immediately and never speak to her again. There is no coming back from this. She's a narcissist user. In the meantime, what can she do? She can ask her so-called friends that she invites to everything else to pick up the slack. Guess what? They won't. I'm really sorry that you've been through this. Never let anyone do this to you ever again. I say this as a retired bridesmaid and a people pleaser in recovery. Art. And Historical Sherbet 318 says, that is not a friend. You've given her about 4 too many chances at this point to redeem herself. This just reads like an abusive friendship where she's using you and you won't get anything in return other than a half-assed friendship. You're not her servant, OP. Does helping her plan make you happy? Does being forced to wait around at her beck and call for plans that you're barely included in make you happy? Does your friendship in its current state make you happy? If not, why stay? It's sad you lost a long-term friend who you probably shared a lot with, but people can and will change at any age and not always for the better. So, it's time to reevaluate your self-worth and tell her that you're no longer interested in being a part of the wedding and leave. Well, the community is definitely reading OP the writing on the wall, so let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Thank you all so much for your feedback and support. Your comments truly opened my eyes to how I was allowing myself to be treated. After the St. Patrick's Day event, I texted her to express that my feelings were hurt. She responded by saying she was sorry that I felt that way, but not sorry for not inviting me to dinner. She claimed that friendships need dedicated quality time. She then went on to say, "It is extremely difficult to maintain a relationship with you right now. I haven't changed, and I can only do so much in a friendship where I feel like I'm the only one putting in effort. It feels like you expect me to consider you in every decision I make." She also added, "I would really like to go back to being friends, but what we have right now does not feel like a true friendship. I can't continue to support our relationship in its current state. I want to be there for you, and I'm trying to work on the things you've asked me to, but it feels like you're fighting me and pushing me away at every step. Neither of us has the energy for unnecessary drama like this all the time." On top of that, she completely flipped the situation on me, making it seem like the problems in our friendship were solely my fault. She even used the exact same words I had used to express why I was upset. Reading her message truly made me feel like I was losing my mind and questioning my reality. I feel like she is gaslighting me and might have been for many years. So I told her I'm done. I hope to remain strong with my decision. For any other bridesmaids out there, please use this as a cautionary tale. The bride did not start out with a list of demands. The demands and entitlements slowly crept in over time, with a smile and friendly demeanor. Victimhood about other things in her life was also used as a tactic. I should have set better boundaries, but I hope to learn from all of this. I do feel a sense of relief not being a part of her craziness anymore. I wish her all the best and truly hope her fiancé knows what he is getting himself into. He is a very nice guy. Well, it'll be good for you. Now you can have the extra time to rest and dedicate it to your family. So here's wishing you the best, OP. Take care and thanks so much for sharing. Now let's finish this video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user Squirreltail. Mandatory, you say? Meetings, arguably a waste of everyone's time, a worthless imposition upon our finite existence, but doubly so when one works nights. Tonight, gentle readers, I have a small tale of mismanagement and begrudging compliance with absurd requirements. The fallout isn't much, but I consider it a personal win. So it came to pass many years ago when I was still less than a year working nights at this hotel, that the manager called a great and mighty meeting. All hands on deck, a mandatory meeting of great importance, new policies and practices, lunch to be provided, all quite urgent and very mandatory. I read the notice and informed the manager that none of the topics to be discussed were anything I had to deal with during the night shift. Maintenance, housekeeping, a night auditor cares not for these things. Could I, in fact, just skip the whole thing? Nope. Plead that this would cut into my sleep schedule fell on deaf ears. Even if the meeting was functionally useless to me, it would be seen as unfair if everyone else had to show up and I didn't. Be there tomorrow at noon or be written up. Fine then. This was before store inventories were easily searched online, so it took a while to make a few calls, but I finally found what I needed 20 miles away. A quick shopping trip, then after work I went home for a short nap before the meeting. My manager bounced into the meeting, ready to dazzle us with whatever speech he had prepared, only to notice all his employees stealing glances at the back corner. There I was, plaid pajamas, dark blue bathrobe, wet rumpled hair, dark bags under my eyes. I might have touched them up a little with makeup. And upon my feet were a set of brand new fuzzy bunny slippers that I had dashed to get for this very occasion. The boss sputtered protest, but I pointed out that for me, this was effectively 3 in the morning, so his presentation had better be worth it. Spoilers, it was not worth it. Not one item on the meeting had anything whatsoever to do with what I did during the night shift. None of it. Furthermore, the lunch he'd provided, and admittedly lovely sort of fried rice chicken casserole thing, hit almost all the items on my admittedly rather long digestive naughty list. Onions, heavy cheese, jalapenos and bell peppers with enough fats that my comparatively recent gallbladder removal would have noped out after one bite. So not even the free lunch. As the event wound down with everyone else eating, I went to my manager, looked him dead in the eye, more or less, I was tired, and told him exactly what a colossal waste of my time this whole thing had been and that I would not be attending any further mandatory meetings. If there was something I needed to know, a memo would suffice. Thank you. And that was how I got out of attending meetings forever. There have been more meetings. I have not been invited to attend them. I did attend the manager's going away party though. That was nice. I have to say, OP, the touch of the fuzzy bunny slippers was awesome. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.